Hello, everybody. Important to explain you some information about cellularity, how the structure of cellular and what kind of disorder happens in human body. And we also know that there's some cells structures that is important for making uh, collagen and for production of fats, for example, branch fatty acid and long chain fatty acid. It happens due to the organelles which are present in the cell of the cytoplasm. We know that our cells have a cell membrane nucleus and the larger surface and the larger area of the sphere of the spherical, which is cytoplasm. Actually, in the larger region, we have organelles. These organelles perform their function after nucleus. And nucleus uh, messenger RNA goes inside of cytoplasm with the protein, with the collagen, and then the function of the organelles start. First of all, we need to understand the cell cycle phases, which is G1, G2, G0, and S phase. And these phases are important for formation of different kind of organelles cells, different kind of in the body, different kinds of cells present. For example, in the brain, neurons, and these neurons, due to the G0 phase, and regenerate from stem cells. These are permanent cell and also which is skeleton and cardiac muscle. These are also permanent cell. Red blood cell also, these are permanent cell. From where they regenerate from stem cell. And a stable, what are the stable? They are stable and from G1 to G0. We have whole cell cycle area, and in the area different kind of cells regenerate, and when the stable cells are stimulated, in which hepatocytes, lymphocytes, and periosteal cells produced. Other cell which is rapidity growth, and these cells are very common in human body. Uh, for example, if we cut the hair, and after some days, after 4 or 5 days, they will be in normal size. They are labile cells and never go to the G0 phase. Then they will never enter into the G0 phase because when they rapidly growth, only G1 phase and most affected by affected by chemotherapy. When the cancer cell happens, when the cancer happens, it's happened due to these cells mostly. Bone marrow, in which bone marrow region and gut epithelium, skin, our skin, hair follicles, germ cell. Remember, when we cut the skin, after sometimes there is pus form. Why? Because they have ability to. We know that pus happens due to microorganisms, but after sometimes they will be normal because they have ability to become in normal level. After some time they have ability to be in normal size. Our hair, our skin, and germ cell, our bone marrow cells. Different organelles I want to explain. For example, rough endoplasmic reticulum. Two areas in rough endoplasmic reticulum. The main thing is that rough endoplasmic reticulum near to the nucleus, and also smooth endoplasmic reticulum also near into the nucleus. And rough endoplasmic reticulum have important function. They synthesize the protein. And smooth endoplasmic reticulum, detoxify the drugs, poisons, and for example, in liver, hepatocytes, our hepatic cells, and steroid hormone producing cells of the adrenal cortex and gonads. Our gonads are important. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum perform important role, and other thing which is cell trafficking. After the endoplasmic reticulum, the Golgi apparatus perform important role, and they distribute the proteins and lipid which comes from endoplasmic reticulum. And in after this, there is one disease happens which is known as first cell disease. And why this disease happen? Because there is inherited lysosomal storage, and when there is failure of Golgi apparatus, when Golgi apparatus isn't perform well function, first cell disease happens. And after that, we know that buildup of cellular debris in lysosomes and result in coarse facial features, gingival hyperplasia, corneal clouding. Our cornea will not be in normal location. He sometimes he go up and down automatically without any information. The cornea will not perform will not be normal. It's due to the first cell disease. And after that, cloud hand deformities and scoliosis and plasma level of lysosomal enzymes. These are happens due to first cell disease. Other main thing which is peroxisome and proteasome. Peroxisome actually are organelle, but most of guys don't know about what is the function of peroxisome. They only thought that smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, and ribosomes and lysosomes. Peroxisomes uh, produce long chain fatty acids and branch chain fatty acids, and they synthesize the cholesterol, bile acids, and plasmalogens, an important membrane of phospholipids, especially in white matter of brain. And due to peroxisome, early death happened. Why? Because when one syndrome happens, which is Zellweger syndrome, in this condition, uh, hypotonia, seizures, and hepatomegaly. And when hepatomegaly happens, there is no chances of survive in the world. Only death happen. And the size of the spleen increase. That's the reason of early death. Refsum's disease. In this condition, scaly skin, ataxia, cataracts, night blindness will never be able to see things during night, shortening of forced toe, and epiphyseal dysplasia. Treatment, which is we need to take well proper food, and plasmapheresis. We need to put plasma into the vessels. Adrenal leukodystrophy. In this condition, there is built uh, white matter of brain, testis, and defect in white matter of brain and defect in testis. It's the progressive disease that can lead to adrenal gland crisis. We know that why adrenal gland crisis. We know that into the in the upper side of there is a adrenal gland that secretes hormones, which is cortisol, which is aldosterone. These hormones important for formation of sperm, and when and these hormones released due to the fats, due to the fatty acids. due to the cholesterol. And when there is no normal of very long chain fatty acids, and when there is no branch chain fatty acids, and there is no amino acids, so this disease happens. Adrenoleukodystrophy happens, and and that also causes a defect of adrenal gland, progressive loss of neurological function. We know that neurons needs ATP for thinking, for memorizing the material, need ATP. And when there is no formation of cholesterol and there is no bile acids and in the membrane no phospholipids, and that causes the leading death suddenly. That's the reason of Zellweger syndrome, Refson syndrome, and adrenoleukodystrophy. Proteasome barrel-shaped protein complex that degrades damaged or ubiquitin tagged proteins, and in this condition defects in the proteasome system and have been implicated in some cases of Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's disease is a neurodegenerative disorder that is happens due to unconsciousness condition due to Parkinson's disease. Another which is cytoskeleton elements, network or protein fiber within the cytoplasm, uh, and that's what cell structure, cell and organelles movement and cell divisions. Microfilaments, microtubule, and micro intermediate filaments. These are used for making actin